Chinese pork belly. Grab yourself some pork belly, specifically the type with the pork skin still on. Now before we begin, make sure there are no stray hairs left on the skin. But if you do come across any, just lightly braise it with a blowtorch and scrape off any excess hair. Luscious pork and open flame. This recipe has it all. Anyway, you're gonna need about 2 pounds of skin on pork belly. Now whether you get a whole slab or pre-cut like this from the butcher, make sure they're at least 1 inch wide. Once you do, cut them up into 1-inch cubes. Okay, alright, once they're cut, place them in a bowl full of water. Alright, next up, take this to the stove top and boil it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, remove any scum that floats to the top. We are boiling our pork for 2 reasons. 1, to de-scum the pork, and 2, to give the pork some structural integrity, because over the course of our braise, our pork is going to become more tender. And if we were just to braise the raw pork, it would disintegrate under its own weight. Boiling it tenses up the muscle fibers, and once it's done, it should be nice and tender without disintegrating. We're going to be making the pork belly in a slow cooker. Listen, I get this is not a traditional Chinese way of cooking. I just like this because it gives me good results, and cooking it over stovetop is just a bit too much for me. Anyway, line the bottom of our slow cooker with green onions. Next, take 2 ounces of ginger and just give it a nice chop. I think it was 1 ounce. The ginger's going to overpower everything if you do. Next, take 2 cloves of garlic and smash them. This is what I like about this recipe. You don't have to peel stuff. Now take our pork and put them in skin side down. Okay, now for our liquids. Add 2 cups of our boiled pork water. And in a separate measuring cup, add 2 cups of Shaoxing cooking wine. This is going to contain any funky flavor our pork has, and you can find this at Chinese supermarkets. If you can't find any, don't worry, I'll leave a link to this in the description. Follow that up with 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 3 tablespoons of dark soy sauce. And yes, there is a big difference between dark soy sauce and regular soy sauce. Compared to regular soy sauce, dark soy sauce has a bolder umami flavor. Just like the cooking wine, you can pick this up at Chinese grocery stores. If not, I'll leave a link to this in the description. And let's toss in a few spices. 1 cinnamon stick, 2 star anise pods, and 1 bay leaf. And finally, top this off with 8 ounces of rock sugar. Once again, Chinese market or link in the description. Slap on the lid and let this cook on high for 4 hours. Okay, it's been 4 hours and our pork should be done cooking, but it's not ready to eat. We're going to make a sauce out of the braising liquid. Transfer our pork to a small bowl. If you get a few of our onions, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Alright, and once you get the pork out of the pot, the inner pot, and just dump the contents into a bowl with a strainer. Alright, put the pork back into the bowl. Make sure you squeeze every bit of juice out that you can. Then pour the liquid into a gravy separator. Give it a moment for the liquid and the fat to fully separate. Okay, once it's fully separated, pour the contents into a stock pot. Some fat's gonna get in there, not the end of the world. And reduce this over medium-high heat. Okay, once the liquid reduces by half, pour it back in our pork. And give everything a good toss. Serve it up in the bowl and dig right in.